Hi, and welcome to How to Get Handsome at Home. I'm Steve Muller, and I'll be your host for this evening's interview. With me this evening, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Dawn Gruby, hairdresser extraordinaire.
Hello.
Hi, Dawn. How long have you been cutting hair?
I've actually been cutting hair for about 15 years.
Tell me, Dawn, do you have any trade secrets for the perfect haircut?
The perfect haircut is as simple as knowing what the person's head shape is. A lot of people misconstrue just a haircut as shaping the head. Actually, what it is the person who was cutting your hair before didn't do a balanced precision cut on you. So normal head size, everybody's head shape is different, and you have an occipital bone, which is actually the bone in the back of your head. And if I measure from the base of your occipital bone to the crown point, which is the very top of the head, and from your high point, which is almost right where that front of your head, where you hit it on the cabinet is, this is from here to here. If this section from here to the high point is actually shorter than from here to here, that means I need to make more height on your head and less width, which actually brings the cheekbones up, accentuates the eyes, and actually gives you the illusion of a higher, more full head of hair.
So what is the first step in preparing for
The first thing, of course, before anything, is we have a not a high-maintenance man who likes to primp in the mirror a lot. Not that you don't look good and you don't look like you primp in the mirror, which you do, but it actually, you have very naturally curly hair, so that's the other thing. I have to look at the base of what I'm working with. So knowing that you have extremely curly hair with a wave pattern of its own, I want to take into consideration your wave pattern and make it work with you, not against you. Give you a simple cut that you can style your fingers with and go. And that's the basic trade secret to getting a really good haircut.
Well, how can you tell which style is going to work best?
With your hair pattern and the way that your hair wave is, you've got a receding hairline. So,
excuse me?
Well, it is, but you have a very high forehead, so it actually doesn't show a receding hairline. It's just the way that your hair growth pattern has come. You have a pointed occipital bone into the temple area. And then in the top here, you have a wave pattern, and you have a cowlick. And a cowlick is where the hair grows in. Normally a hair whorl, which is how a person's hair grows, the hair whorl goes in a direction that is counterclockwise. And every once in a while, when the scalp is being formed from birth and the hair starts to grow, you have a few hairs that decide to go the opposite. What we have to do is actually make sure that we take into consideration all these. And unless you were wanting to straighten your hair chemically or blow dry it or use a straightening iron, which you would burn yourself with, then we want to just kind of let your hair be the best and let it go the way that it wants to go. A lot of times people will have a hair pattern that works against the way that they've been styling it, and the only reason they've styled it that way is because that's the way their mom styled it when they were a child. So, if your mom at the age of 3 started parting your hair this way, then of course as you grow up you're going to want to part your hair that way. And a lot of times that doesn't work because you're going against and you're always fighting with the front of your hair, and a lot of times people will say, oh, well, if you go that way with it, it lays flatter. And that's how we come in as professionals and know how to work with hair, the direction of the cutting, and we get you into a style that actually works for you.
Okay, so I have really, really curly hair.
Very curly hair.
Is there anything special you have to do with curly hair?
For myself, I actually do a technique, which is a French cutting technique. So instead of cutting straight against the hair, what I'm going to be doing is I hold my scissors at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to be cutting into the hair. Which what this does is it actually cuts into the hair pattern and cuts into your curl. So you have short hairs and long hairs within a dimensional precision cut that actually takes that bulkiness out of your curl.
I'd like to thank my guest for today, Dawn Gruby.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for contributing on how to make me look a little bit better. I know there's a lot of effort.
With a little mousse and a little gel and a couple runs through the hand, any man can be a sexy.
Thank you. This is Steve Muller signing out for How to Look Good at Home.
When you get a haircut, be sure to go back home. When you get a haircut, get a barber you have known. Since you were a little bitty boy sitting in a booster chair, or you might look like